Well, I got to tell you, this is something that is really growing. And for most people, it's really kind of a cool thing and a good thing. But for other people, not so much. It is the growing world of luxury superfakes. Maybe you know of this world, Virginia.
Oh, yeah. It's been around for a hot minute.
Yeah, they are really starting to get to a different level, is what they're saying here in this story I saw. They said that what is happening with some of the superfakes now is the quality is getting to be better in how they are taking after these designer handbags for the most part, but there are other things that they're doing as well, handbags and shoes and the such. They say when it comes to handbags, the replicas known as mirror bags, or they call them one-to-ones, I guess, are being sold for significantly lower prices, anywhere from $500 to $5,000. And that actually is a lot cheaper than some of the originals that you might get. And then you look at what's happening with digital platforms where you can sell them. I know even when it comes to consignment, a lot of the consignment stores, they've got their own online store where you can go and buy this stuff. And that is kind of just expanding it. And now you got influencers that are actually promoting some of these super fake bags and saying, hey, if you want to look like you have $1 million without spending $1 million on social media, just go with some of these super fakes.
Super fakes have always been around, but they weren't as widespread. So what used to happen is, a lot of these bags are manufactured overseas. And a lot of the places where they were made and put together and handcrafted, you would have employees that worked there that stole hardware, stole materials, pilfered from the real stuff to make a few bags that were actually real, but they were just crafted not through the authenticity and through the real chain of it. So this has gone on for a long, long time. Now it's just rampant.
Well, and I think not only are you seeing it more often, but what this story is saying is that the counterfeiters are evolving and they're getting better.
Yes.
To the point where I just saw there was a 35-year-old Ludmila Perez Labrada, who was arrested and charged with felony counterfeiting. Deputies found over $1 million in fake Louis Vuitton items in her Northwest Miami-Dade home. They got a tip. They sent in an undercover deputy, and they started looking at some of the wallets and the handbags that she had at heavily discounted prices. But they didn't know, and they couldn't tell. I remember getting a tutorial about 5 years ago. Maybe it was you. I think my wife was showing me as well, saying, here's how you can tell it's a fake. But now when they looked at it, they're like, we don't know if they're a fake. So they had to call in a special Louis Vuitton investigator to look at it to confirm that a lot of times the naked eye can't even tell. That's how good these knockoffs have become.
And and all these sites that you buy stuff for, they have authenticators. But because the fakes are getting so good, the authenticators can't figure out if it's real or fake.
Are the fakes becoming so good that they actually just become good? Think about that for a second. If the fakes are becoming so good, you can't tell, no one can tell, are they kind of now in their own way considered sort of good? If no one can tell.
If no one can tell, and if it's made with the same craftsmanship, a lot of times that's what it is. So you're talking about, the glue, the stitching, the individual by hand stitching that some bags have that other bags don't. You have to have such a good eye, because the expensive fakes, and you can pay $500 for an expensive fake. But if you bought the real person, Louis Vuitton, it's $3,000.
Yes.
But the expensive fake is $500.
I just know I've been faked with, I've bought something thinking it was an authentic toy from the 80s, only to realize a day later that I got had and it was a complete fake.
There really is, I think, now more than ever in history, if they really want to dupe you, they can dupe you.
Well, and my point being with this, and almost to what Jaybird was saying, if they are so good that you have to get a certified Louis Vuitton inspector to tell you now whether it's fake or not, why would you spend triple, quadruple, 10 times the price if you could walk around and look. I see now so much Louis Vuitton stuff, and I often wonder, I'm like, is that real? How would you even know? I clearly my eyes can't tell.
I'm telling you, half of it's fake.
So why wouldn't you go fake? And I could see why Louis Vuitton would be upset, because it's going to massively undercut their industry. And if somebody where it clicks in their head saying, you know what, why would I ever buy a real Louis Vuitton when I could get a purse and get a year or two's worth of wear out of it and look like I got a Louis Vuitton without spending $6,000?
It's the craftsmanship. It really is. And if you buy a fake, 99% of those fakes will not hold up like a real Louis. And it's the stitching, it's the glue, it's the fabric, it's the leather, it's the way the leather's treated. It's all these things that go into making it a bag that I have Louis Vuitton bags that are like 20, 30 years old.
So how long would a knockoff? If it's a very high quality knockoff, how long would it last? And that's what I would be curious to see. If you
that's the thing.
If you had a legit and you had a fake. In fact, I could even see if you had the money for a legit, be like, you know what? I'm going out to somebody that might be a little bit more rough and tumble. I'm going to have some cocktails tonight. We're taking the fake with us. The real one stays at home tonight.
Totally. Yeah. That is totally. Like, if you're going to Vegas, why would you ever bring out a real purse?
Where people are you're a mark and people want to steal your bag that's worth $8,000.
Or you're going to get drunk and fall in a fountain.
Yep.
They took the original Star Wars line from 1977 and made replicas that look exactly like them, that are way cheaper, that only a small percentage of dorks would ever know. Why would you not go with the replica? No one would ever even know.
It's about craftsmanship, and most fakes will not hold up like the real thing. The real thing will last you 20, 30 years. The real thing, if you're talking about a Louis, is waterproof.
How many years do you get out of a very quality knockoff? I'd be curious to know, because if you told me that you might get 30 out of the real thing, but you can get a good 10 out of the knockoff, I'd be like, sign me up, baby.
That's
knockoff
possible.
For me.
You might get 10 out of it, but you'll probably get way less. The stitching will start to have issues. You'll start to see threads sticking out where there should not be threads sticking out. Like, there are obvious wear and tear things that happen to a knockoff that will not happen to a real bag.
I don't know. I don't mind a beat up purse.
I love a beat up purse that's real. I don't love a beat up purse that's fake, because it's marked for death.
Right.
It's going to deteriorate.
Well, the industry is improving. So if you're trying to save up for an $8,000 bag, maybe you could get something just about as good for $800. Something to think about.